Hey everyone, Kaysharic here. So I have a question, I hope you've got answers. So why is everyone afraid of making decisions? The reason I'm thinking about this is because I think that a lot of people are afraid of making decisions because they're hoping that the time that they take to make the decision, in that time, the person across from them will demonstrate so much perfection that it will make up for their own lack in discernment and character flaws. And that might sound a little bit confusing, but bear with me for a second. Say you come across somebody that you might be romantically interested in, or maybe someone wants to do business with you. You might be thinking to yourself, well, okay, like, is this a good person for me romantically, or, is this a person that I can do business with? What kind of work can we do together, etc. Now, if you're someone who follows God and you're a Christian and you trust God, you have faith in Him, you know that the things that come to you, you are already praying for those things, and when you receive them, you kind of have the discernment to know that it's in line with the fruits of the Spirit and in the direction that God is actually pointing you towards. And you know that there is a great value to that, because you know that you need the blessing of what God is just giving you to carry out the work that God has for you. It also matches the gifts and talents God has already given you. So the blessing of that person romantically, or the blessing of the person who comes to you in business, you're going to understand, like, this is a gift from God and I need to seize this opportunity. Yes, I'll have the discernment to challenge the fruit of the Spirit, but once I understand, yes, this is from God, I'm not going to squander it. Because squandering that is actually an insult to God. And this actually demonstrates in the Bible why some people received 5 talents, whereas some people had 1. Because God favors and blesses those who actually are willing to try, that they actually have the courage to demonstrate their faith, and their faith is, the weight of their faith is actually demonstrated through their actions. If you think of some of the most craziest things that happened in history, like the atomic bomb, Oppenheimer, right? When someone was presented with the opportunity to be a part of that project, do you really think that they had the time to squander and be like, oh, well, I don't know, I'm not sure? Sometimes you get one opportunity, and time waits on no man. And if you don't seize the opportunity that God has put in front of you, He will give it to someone else. Because there will always be someone looking for the opportunity and the blessings that you have. And if you reject the position and the call that God has given you, He will give it to someone else who's simply willing to demonstrate their courage and their effort. Simultaneously, I think people are asking themselves the wrong question. They're asking themselves, is this person good for me? Do I trust this person? Are they perfect enough that I can love them the way that they deserve to be loved, or that I think at the level that I think they might be deserving of love based on their perfection? Or is this person across from me perfect enough and sinless enough that I can do business with them in whatever capacity that I think that we need to do business? That is the wrong question entirely. Nobody is perfect, and they will never be. And the perfection of the person across from you will never make up for your failures in your lack of faith in God, your lack of relationship with Him, your inability to have discernment, and your inability to recognize the failures in your own character and your own flaws and fix those so that you can understand the world around you and operate in the world around you with boundaries. I think a lot of people are afraid to engage in certain relationships with people because they fear their own lack of boundaries and their own inefficiencies and iniquities, and so they hope that the perfection of the person across them will make up for those, and it never will. What you should really be asking yourself, I think, at least what I ask myself when I come across people, I ask myself, why has God put this person in my path? What purpose do they serve in my life? Is this supposed to be a romantic interest, business, church? Like, what is it? Is just this a one-off meeting where, maybe someone approaches you while you're on the train and they share their life story with you because, maybe you look inviting and the Holy Spirit impresses you to say something that is going to touch their heart, and then the Holy Spirit will be able to work in that person's life? Who knows? But you need to be able to assess the category by which somebody is entering your life when God puts them across your path. After that, you need to have the discernment to understand, okay, like, what does God want me to do? And what skills do I have? And what gifts do I have to work together with this person to carry out the work of God for His glory? We as Christians have a work to do. We have a duty and an obligation, a responsibility. And when we don't do that work, there are consequences from God, because He's not going to continue to give us endless gifts and endless opportunities only for them to be squandered. eventually he'll stop giving them to us because he sees that we don't have gratitude, and the gratitude is demonstrated by our what? Our actions. Which is why God says, if you love me, keep my commandments, and faith without works is dead, as we know described by Paul in the Bible. Because yes, faith is good, but you demonstrate your faith by your actions, and love in and of itself is an action. It produces results. So if we love God and we want to submit to God and we trust him, then when he gives us something, we have the gratitude and the humility to say, you know what, God has brought this across my life for a reason. He also says that he doesn't even give us more than we can bear, meaning even the hardships and the horrors and sorrows that we experience, God will use it for his glory. Even though he's sad that it's happened to us, he'll use it for his glory, because all good works together for those who love the Lord, who are called according to his purpose. Which means that if we trust him, we walk by faith, not by sight, we pick up our cross, we walk daily, and we show our courage in our willingness to simply try, then he's going to give us favor. Not because he's Father Christmas, but because he's giving us this gift for a purpose. God doesn't do anything without reason. Yes, he says he has plans for us to prosper and to give us an expected end, but he gives us things so that we can also do like Isaiah 58 says, which is to help the fatherless, the widow, and the oppressed. We as Christians are supposed to be a light unto the world. We have a job to do. We have a job to carry out. It is our purpose in this world to give people the chance to know what God's love is and to experience a chance at salvation. That is the highest form of life that we can have, and that comes with also having a family and going out and doing a work individually and with our family, with our church and with our communities. We are called to something higher than ourselves, which is greater than the sum of its parts, but we have a part to play in each of those things. We have a duty and a responsibility. And I don't think people are taking that seriously enough. I think people are so focused on self and ego. They're like, what can this do for me? And how can this serve me? Rather, why has God given me this opportunity? And what does God want me to do with this opportunity? And how will this opportunity be used for the glory of God? Be it the person that you want to marry that you love, be it the job or the career that you want to endeavor in, be it the church community that you're a part of, no matter what the case may be, even extracurricular activities, whatever the case may be, how is what I'm doing going to be a part of serving God? And what is the weight of the value of what's going to come from me choosing to follow the path that God has given me and accepting that blessing into my life or that gift into my life? And what is the possibility, what is the consequences of maybe me even passing this opportunity by? Simultaneously, not enough people ask themselves, what is the probability of me coming across this blessing a second time? Will God give me this opportunity again? And will I deserve another opportunity like this, be it business, romance, friend, church, community, career, whatever the case may be? Do I deserve another opportunity after God has given me what he thought was the best opportunity for me to carry out his work in my life and the life of those around me when I rejected his offer first? This is what people need to understand. If you had a job and they offered you a promotion, the best promotion in the company, and you refused it, do you think they'd offer it to you again? Think about that. All right, guys. Tell me what you think in the comments. Let me know. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Catch you later.